Bianca is back. For 3 years the curse hanging over my head finally took human shape at 3 o'clock this afternoon when her private jet touched down. The #1 trending topic is the clip of Sebastian himself meeting Bianca at the airport. In the video he peels off his tailored blazer and drapes it gently over her shoulders, the look in his eyes the kind of reverence and tenderness he never once gave me. President Fu and by our home, fairy tale love. Tears, 3 years, the real ship sails again. So what about that stand-in Jade? Time to scram, right? Face blank, I scroll through the comments. One after another they stab in like poison needles, but I'm past feeling the pain. My phone vibrates. It's Sebastian, concise as always, texting from on high like he's tossing alms. Bianca's back. Move out of the villa. The limitless black card is your compensation. Compensation? I laugh. 3 years of youth, of being beckoned and dismissed, countless nights spent copying Bianca's clothes, her intonation, even her smile, paid off with a cold piece of plastic. I don't answer, I don't even look again. I pull open the walk-in closet. It's crammed with white sundresses and Chanel-style jackets Sebastian bought to match Bianca's taste. I leave them all untouched, fish a suitcase from the furthest corner, and take out a red slip dress I bought for myself 3 years ago, before I ever met him, fiery, reckless, the real me. In the mirror the woman who shed the meek disguise looks back, decisive, icily dazzling. I text the number saved simply as we can start. Subscribe to the channel and tell us where you're listening. The reply is instant. I'm downstairs. 8 p.m., peak internet traffic. I log into my long-abandoned Twitter, compose, hit send. One photo. In it a man's angular wrist wears a Patek, his hand is wrapped possessively around mine. Behind us the city glitters, and on my left ring finger flashes the enormous pink diamond ring he's just slid into place. The cap. Tie-in is a single sentence. 3-year dream over. Meet my future, at Lucien. 1 minute. 2. Twitter servers crash. Hashtag Jade Lucien, hashtag Sebastian Bianca, hashtag stand-in goes public, hashtag who is Lucien blast to the top of trending at lightspeed. Meanwhile I'm curled in Lucien's one of 70 Aston, phone muted and tossed aside. Not even peeking at the battlefield you just lit, he asks, voice low, amused. I shake my head, study his profile in neon. Head of Sterling, business titan who trades blows with Sebastian, the only person who saw through my act and told me to be myself. Not interested, I say. Only my future interests me. He squeezes my hand. Then welcome to it, Jade. Across town, Sebastian, fresh from settling Bianca, impatiently checks his phone, expecting me to have obediently vanished. When he sees the tweet the blood drains from his face. That hand wearing the pink diamond cooked his meals, massaged his temples, did every tender thing for 3 years, and now it rests in his enemy's palm. Lucien. His nemesis. Fury and panic choke him. He speed dials, my phone is dead. Bang! The $1 million handset shatters against the wall. Jade. Eyes bloodshot, he snatches his car keys and storms out, leaving Bianca mid-sip of bird nest soup. He'll drag her back. She is his, no one touches what he discards without permission. Sebastian's Lamborghini howls through the night, engine screaming his rage. He's never lost control like this. The photo loops in his skull, that diamond, that name, Lucien. When did she even meet him? 3 years she'd been docile, a trained canary. He thought she'd die without him, so one text was enough, keep the black card, just go. Instead she's glowing in his rival's arms, slapping him live on the internet. This isn't betrayal, it's war. He races to my old studio, certain I'll be cowering there. Boom boom boom. No answer. A neighbor yells, it's midnight, someone die? Sebastian's murderous glare slams the door shut again. He speed dials his assistant, find Jade, thr. Minutes, whatever it takes. The pin drops, Skyline, Penthouse A. His pupils shrink. Skyline, Lucien's fortress, and she's there. He storms the tower, blows past security, rides the lift to the top. Doors open. Floor-to-ceiling windows, city glittering. I'm in the red slip dress, leaning into Lucien, wine in hand. I glance back, no surprise, no emotion, as if he's a stranger. President Fu? My tone is formal. Trespassing for tomorrow's legal headlines? Sebastian's eyes rake over us. Got guts, Jade. You ditch my villa to jump into his bed? Lucien steps between us, taller, colder. Mind your mouth. She's my fiancé. Fiancé? The word detonates in Sebastian's skull. He stares at the pink diamond. Since when were you screwing him? Screwing? I face him. We're done. Your text ended us. Who I am now is none of your business. None? He lunges to grab my wrist. You're mine. Even trash I throw away stays mine. Lucian catches his arm like iron. She isn't property, he says, tightening until bone creaks. Never was. The two apex predators square off, gunpowder thick. Sebastian snarls, you'll regret this, both of you. Enjoy my leftovers, hope you like them dirty. My lungs not. Lucian's fist answers, crack. Sebastian staggers, lip splits. That's for her, Lucian says. Now get your garbage mindset out of my house. Sebastian cups his jaw, humiliation and loss colliding in his eyes. I wipe Lucian's knuckles as though they've touched filth. The gesture finishes him. He knows, she's gone for good. He stumbles out. The instant the door seals, Lucian calls security, archive the hallway footage. Skyline goes to maximum lockdown tomorrow. Only then does he fold me into his arms. Okay? I rest against his heartbeat, calmer than ever. The last 3 years feel like a joke. Not a joke, sunk cost, he murmurs. Cut your losses and you've already won. I smile. Exactly. Cut and win. Next morning the cyber tsunami roars louder. Sebastian's PR army buys meme accounts, showering me wit. H. Sludge, insider, Jade cheated with Lucian a year ago, ultimate schemer. From extra to copycat to gold digger, poor Sebastian. Bianca just landed and the stand-ins already shaming herself. Overnight I'm America's most hated calculating bimbo. He's using to bury me, planning to resurrect me later so I'll crawl back. Same script, control, crush, then act savior. Wrong actress, wrong stage. I scan the filth almost amused. Lucian, slicing steak, asks, want me to nuke the trends? Half an hour. Let him dance. The higher the heel, the harder the faceplant. He lifts a brow, proud. My girl needs no shield. Just hand me a sharper knife, I say. It's already forged. That afternoon the internet detonates again. A-list director Martin unveils his next epic Phoenix within the palace and drops the female lead, no teaser, just the poster. I'm in a blood-red palace gown and imperial crown, eyes lethal, lips scarlet, the empress who owns the board. Caption, she was the palace's sacrifice, she becomes its reckoning. Hello, Empress at Jade. Retweeted by Martin, lead actor Triple Crown King Adrian, and Sterling, good luck, boss lady at Jade. Boss lady. 3 syllables that flip the narrative. Martin chose her? She skyrocketed. Sterling's owner? Why would she need to gold dig? Wait, wasn't this role promised to Bianca? Sebastian poured, 150 into it? Real heiress beaten by stand-in, Sebastian must be emerald with rage. Exactly. The part Bianca coveted, the one Sebastian bankrolled, carries a veto clause held by its top investor, Lucian. And Lucian just crowned me empress. You humiliated me with money. I'll answer by stealing the prize you treasure most. Think I collapse without you? Watch how high I climb once I step over you. Wendy calls, voice cracking. Are you and the boss secretly married? Phoenix, do you know what this means? Wendy, quit your firm. From today you work for me. On my way. First battle, where? Stay tuned, I laugh. Script read through. H is held in a riverside tea house trimmed with latticed wood. When I arrive Martin and Adrian are already sipping pure. Jade. Martin beams. Meet Adrian, your emperor. Adrian's smile warms the room. Love the still, regal vibe. Ready to spar? Can't wait, I say, meeting his handshake eye to eye. The table goes quiet when I start my first scene. The empress learns her clan has been executed, confronts the mirror alone. Tell me, is this crown dyed in my father's blood? Such a lovely red. My voice is feather soft, pupils hollow, sorrow a dead lake beneath. No sobs, just a creeping frost that builds to a vow. Issue the decree, tonight the harem changes skies. Silence. Martin applauds first, eyes blazing. Yes. Not a weeping wife, a phoenix soaked in gasoline. Adrian inclines his head, curiosity lit layers for days. Can't wait for our face-offs. I close the script, cheeks cool, pulse steady. Act 1 of my new life is officially underway. With the blessing of 2 industry titans, the rest of the crew looked at me differently. The polite smiles turned into real respect. I knew it, this battle was mine. I had proved, with raw talent, that I deserved the part. Just when the set felt like heaven, an uninvited guest slammed the door. Bianca floated in wearing a pitiful white sundress, Sebastian right behind her. Martin, Sebastian barked, eyes sliding past me. I hear you've recast my leading lady? Martin's brows snapped together. Gate-crashing producers were not his thing. Your intel is fast. Creative decision, made in-house. Decision? Sebastian sneered. I wired 100 million into this picture and you swap the girl like she's a light bulb, care to explain? Bianca's eyes watered on cue, she tugged his sleeve. Sebastian, forget it. Maybe I'm just not good enough. That White Lotus act used to make me sick. Now it was pure comedy. I lifted my teacup, blew off the steam, didn't even bother to look up. Martin, a director who prays at the altar of art, not finance, turn D to stone. Explanation, Jade fits the role better than Bianca. If you hate the call, pull your money. Sebastian's face went chlorophyll green. Walk away from a 9-figure investment? He swung his predator gaze to me. Jade, the part belongs to Bianca. Step aside and I'll pretend this never happened. I retract every harsh word. Translation, another of his shabby little favors. He crooked his finger, I was supposed to crawl. I finally met his eyes, and smiled. Sebastian, did you forget? Sterling is the majority financier on this film. I set the cup down, rose, stepped into his personal space, voice calm, scalpel sharp. And I am Sterling's first lady. So you're asking me to hand my own property to your stray kitten? The color drained from both their faces. Yes, first lady. 3 syllables that drop like a sledgehammer. Sebastian stared as if we'd never met. The Jade in his memories was docile, voice barely above a whisper. The woman in front of him gleamed, blade bright and battle ready. You insist on war? He hissed. War. I laughed. You flatter yourself. You're not even in my weight class. I turned to Martin. Let's roll. Don't let the background noise eat the clock. Those 6 words, background noise, landed like an anvil on Sebastian's chest. He watched my back, watched Adrian shoot me a proud grin, watched the crew orbit me as if I were gravity itself. For the first time he tasted defeat, metallic and foreign. They left, tails tucked. Bianca's final glare was venom stripped bare. I knew the real war had just begun. That night at Lucien's penthouse I told the story like a punchline. He stood at the stove in an apron, flipping midnight pancakes, chuckled, good girl. Never pat a rabid dog. I hugged him from behind, chin on his shoulder. How did you even know I existed? Our paths never crossed. He killed the burner, lifted me, carried me to the sofa. Kneeling, he opened a lacquered box. Inside, 1 dog-eared movie ticket and a signed movie poster, my forgotten indie debut at 18, Eternal Summer Bloom. The film nobody saw. I watched it 100 times, he said. I kept wondering which genius director found an uncut diamond. He traced the girl on the poster, then my cheek. You vanished. 3 years ago I spotted you at a party, trailing Sebastian in an ill-fitting white sundress, eyes dead. I waited. Last year he dragged you to Martin's table as Bianca's benchwarmer. You did a 5-minute read. Everyone went silent. Sebastian patted your head and said, cute, but the part's taken. Your light just died. That second I decided to steal the movie for you. Tears blurred my vision. While I'd abandoned myself, this man had guarded the real me. I kissed him hard. Sebastian would never grasp the masterpiece he'd tossed. Sebastian was drowning in sour adrenaline. Ever since I eviscerated him on set, nothing abated him. Bianca sobbed around the clock, wailing about stolen parts and Lucien's shield. At Caldwell, Sterling was eating his lunch, board members sharpening knives. And every leaked still of me, hair in a messy bun, script in hand, eyes laser-focused, cut him deeper. He finally understood he'd never known me. White sundresses and warm water. Just a Bianca costume he'd zipped me into. Real Jade bled crimson, chased risk, hungered for spotlights. His assistant tiptoed in with a tablet, the newest phoenix in the Forbidden City promo. Sebastian waved him out and hit play. 60 seconds of my queen in crimson, dancing with a sword in falling snow, beautiful, lethal. His lungs forgot how to breathe. On autopilot he opened the Skyline security feed. The living room was museum quiet, the kitchen sterile, the sunroom empty. Without me the place was a marble tomb. Memory ambushed him curled on that sofa with gastritis, me racing across town for meds, burning porridge at 3 a.m., him pulling 3 all-nighters during Caldwell's takeover scare, me silently refilling his coffee, massaging his temples. He'd labeled it profs. Cyanal behavior. Now the tenderness in those flashbacks gutted him. Had she loved me? The question grew teeth. He snatched his phone, opened our dead WhatsApp chat, typed 2 words, where you? He waited 1 minute, 10, 60. Gray ticks never turned blue. He didn't know I'd deleted him hours ago. Meanwhile, at the wrap party, I was champagne-tinged and surrounded. To Jade, future best. Martin roared. I clinked glasses. Adrian winked. Lucien shelled a prawn and parked it on my plate. Cameras flashed as I kissed Lucien's cheek. Thanks, hubby. Tomorrow's tabloids were already written. Jade crowns Lucien on set. Sebastian's bonfire was just getting lit. And they did. Front pages, trending hashtags, every entertainment show opener, hashtag Jade kisses Lucien, hashtag she called him hubby. The internet combusted into pink-hearted emojis. Gold digger memes died overnight. Sterling lady plus that photo of Lucien's soft smile bulldozed them. Comment sections turned into shrines. OMG my heart. Lucien's eyes equals pure devotion. Sebastian who? LOL. Sebastian didn't sleep. Each happy pixel felt like ground glass under his skin. She called him hubby, 3 years and she never gave me that word. Then Phoenix dropped. National Day weekend, biggest streamer, prime placement. Word of mouth detonated. Production value, pace, acting, all rock solid. My arc, from sweet noble girl to eyesight empress, lit screens on fire. The 30-second snow dance clip hit 1 billion likes in 48 hours. Queen Jade became the internet's new religion. My Twitter following vaulted from 600K to 8 million before episode 4 aired. Scripts, endorsements, talk shows, Wendy's phone melted. Sweetie, Luxor just offered Greater China Muse, payday in 7 zeros. Bianca's pay-to-play drama launched the same week and sank without bubble. Netizens crowned it flop of the year. Every paid hashtag was buried under avalanches of my sword gif memes. On set for Vogue China, Wendy waved her screen, pap shots of Bien. CA outside a psychiatric clinic, face gaunt. Depression relapse, the caption whispered. I sipped coconut water. She reaped what she sowed. My phone vibrated, unknown number. Wendy mouthed, Sebastian private line. I tapped speaker. Jade. Bianca's in a bad place. Doctors say it's acute stress. His voice sounded like gravel dragged over glass. She wants to see you. His pride cracked. I'm asking. The great Sebastian reduced to beggar. Sure, I purred. Here's my price. Bring the pink Rolls-Royce you flew in for her homecoming, the whole city saw it. Pick me up at the studio gate tomorrow, open the door yourself while every camera watches. Do that, and I'll drop by. Silence bled through the speaker long and thick as tar. Tell him to drive that car himself, come play chauffeur for his ex's stand-in, and open the door for me in front of everyone. It was no different from pressing his face to the pavement and letting me stomp. Jade, don't push it. Sebastian's voice was a low growl. Push it? I snorted. You're the one begging, not me. Those are my terms, take it or leave it. Agree and I'll show up. Don't, and she can rot. You've got 3 minutes. I hung up. Wendy gawked beside me. Girl, you're driving the man insane. Insane? I smiled at her. We haven't even started. Exactly 3 minutes later my phone rang again. Sebastian. I accept. His tone sounded dredged from an ice bath. Send the address. I curled my lips, satisfied, and texted him the magazine office location. Half an hour later a loud pink Rolls-Royce screeched to a halt outside, causing a commotion. Sebastian climbed out in a black suit, face stormy, a volcano about to blow. I sauntered over in 10-centimeter stilettos under every staffer's stunned stare. When he saw me, his eyes flashed fury, frustration, and, though he'd never admit it, humiliation. I stopped in front of him and lifted my chin, opened the door. His fists cracked at his sides. Needle-sharp eyes from every direction pin. Ed the golden boy in his first public execution. He inhaled, bowed that aristocratic back, and yanked open the rear door. Jade, after you, he ground out. I slid in without glancing at him. The door shut, sealing off the world. He took the driver's seat and studied me in the mirror. I wore sculpted designer suiting, full glam, a queen in her power, nothing like the bare-faced girl in a white sundress he remembered. You've changed, he rasped. Have I? I scrolled my phone. I'd say I finally changed back into myself. His knuckles bleached on the wheel. Do you have to punish me like this? Punish? I met his gaze in the glass and laughed. Get over yourself. You and Bianca are just pebbles in my road, kick them aside or crush them when I'm in the mood. The only reason you're still in this car is that the game amuses me. Each word was a poison blade. Sebastian's face went paper white. All that pedigree, power, wealth, nothing but a pastime I hadn't finished toying with. That fall from grace hurt worse than any fist. We tore through the streets and stopped at a top private hospital. In the VIP suite I found Bianca, pale, skeletal, eyes brimming with venom. You bitch, Jade. You stole everything. She lunged, Sebastian restrained her. I chuckled. Your things? They were never yours. You just showed up earlier. At bottom we're the same. I'm only clearer headed, and luckier. I pointed at me, then her, smile merciless. I dumped him and won. You, cradled in his hands, turned yourself into a psycho. Who's the joke now? She shrieked, choked, and passed out. Chaos erupted. Sebastian cradled her, roaring, happy now, Jade? Watching him fuss, I felt bored. Sebastian, I said quietly, do you actually love her? Or do you love the mirage that saved you and swaggered off 3 years ago? You projected it onto her, then tried to project it onto me. You never loved a real person, only your possessiveness and your fragile, once dumped ego. I walked out, stripping away his last IG leaf. Game over. Outside, Lucian waited, handing me warm bubble tea, folding my icy hands in his. It's finished, he said. I leaned on his shoulder. From now on I'm just the actress Jade. The internet proved me right within days. An anonymous overseas account dropped a bombshell, shock. The white moonlight is fake, Sebastian's real savior revealed. It stated that 3 years ago Sebastian survived an avalanche in Colorado thanks to a Chinese student who left meds and vanished. Bianca wasn't even at that resort, she'd simply claimed the credit. Pass lists, Bianca's spending records, and grainy rescue footage backed it up. The girl's build and moves looked exactly like Jade. OMG. Sebastian worshipped a knockoff while the genuine article stood in as the knockoff? This IQ, plot twist of the year, the stand-in was the original. Sebastian became a laughingstock. The treasure he'd cradled was counterfeit, the stand-in he'd trampled was authentic. I wasn't surprised, Lucian had released every file. Why not tell him earlier? I asked. So he could haunt you out of gratitude? Lucian tightened his arms. I want him to see what he lost and rot in regret. He tapped my nose. And I won't let my girl's good deed go uncredited. I beamed, heart syrupy sweet. When Sebastian saw the proof he lost it, chasing records that all confirmed how blind he'd been. The reason I'd reminded him of Bianca wasn't mimicry, I was the one etched in his memory. He'd tried to shape me into that ghost, and I, fool that I was, had obeyed. He'd hoisted a fake to heaven and kicked the real lifesaver into mud. Every barb I'd hurled, you love only possession, you're not even my opponent, returned to slice him hollow. He tried to see me, at my new penthouse, at Sterling, at the rap party, but Lucian's cordon held. Finally he cornered me backstage at an awards gala, the night I won my first Best for Phoenix on the Palace. He looked wrecked, eyes bloodshot, pride in tatters. Jade, sorry, he croaked. I love you, always have. Cheap late affection, cheaper than weeds. I lifted my trophy. When I needed you, you handed me a black card. Now that I stand on my own, you decide you love me? Funny. Your love came too late and costs too little. I stepped past. He seized me from behind, sobbing, give me another chance, let's start over. His hot tears soaked my gown. Lucian arrived. Without throwing a punch he draped his tuxedo over my shoulders and pried Sebastian's fingers off one by one. Have some dignity, Caldwell. Those 3 words broke him. Slumped, Sebastian watched Lucian lead me away. As we passed, Lucian murmured, thank you for being stoneblind. Kill the man, then salt the wound. Sebastian stood hollow, a desolate statue. He vanished after that. Rumor says he sold every Caldwell share and left the country. Bianca, exposed and abandoned, cracked completely, her family committed her. Everyone who hurt me got their due. My life had just begun. Phoenix turned me into the industry's most bankable lead. I picked my own scripts, worked with the best, collected hit after hit. Adrian and I became cinema's golden duo, hoisting trophies every season. Lucian and I grew inseparable. He visited every set, massaged knots out of my shoulders after 18-hour shoots, cheered louder than anyone when awards were called. Our Twitter became a PDA playground. New film announced, he retweets, future Sterling crushes it again. Sterling IPO, I post pictures of him ringing the bell, proud of my Sterling. Netizens shipped us hard, Lucian Jade please register at City Hall right now. Correct way to open a power couple, equal, empowering. The night I collected my 3rd best, Lucian shut down the entire waterfront. Drones spelled across the sky, Jade, marry me. Under 1,000 camera flashes he knelt, offering a pink diamond ring twice the size of the last one. Tears, but happy ones, streamed as I said yes. My wedding was the event of the year, half of Hollywood plus Eve. Business Titan filed through the cathedral. I floated down the aisle in a couture gown Lucian designed himself. The officiant asked, do you, Lucian, take Jade, to love, honor, and protect for life? He gazed at me, gentle as moonlight. I do. She's the treasure I found twice, the only light I need. Applause thundered. Married life outsweetened the fairy tales. Lucian spoiled me like a kid, on-set visits, lazy Sundays reading scripts in his arms, grocery runs, movie nights in dusty foreign towns. Once, in a European village, students recognized us. Your love story beats every drama. Dump the scumbag, wed the tycoon, goals. Lucian grinned. Correction, I'm the one who snagged the goddess. Squeals all around. Little by little Sebastian faded from my mind. Occasional gossip says his overseas ventures tank. I feel nothing. Sunshine, bouquets, and Lucian's love fill my days. Today the remastered release of my debut film Eternal Summer hits theaters, the movie where Lucian first fell for me. He rented a private screen for two. On screen, 18-year-old me in a school uniform ran through sunlight, laughing. I murmured, so naive, thought it was love, turns out I was just a shadow. When the hero dumps the heroine for a future, Lucian squeezes my hand. He didn't deserve her. Credits roll, lights rise. He pulls out a velvet box, a tiny diamond sun on a chain. In the film your name was Sunny, he whispers, clasping it on. To me you'll always be the girl chasing the sun. Now the sun is yours, your sky will stay clear forever. I hug him, the little sun warm against my heart, happiness overflowing. Real love doesn't turn you into someone's reflection. It lets you become your brightest self, and shine. ####Chapter 12, Chance. An old ghost calls just when I think life will stay this perfect. An unexpected ring shatters the calm. It was Wendy calling. Jade, there's something I have to tell you. Her voice wavered. What is it? Martin's new film is about to roll. He wants you and Adrian as the leads again. That's great news. I was puzzled. It is. But. She hesitated. Caldwell is one of the investors. My heart dropped. Sebastian's back? Yeah. Not only back, he's retaken control of Caldwell. Word is he's a different animal now, ruthless. The old board is eating out of his hand. I went silent. Martin's begging you to do it. The script was written for you, Oscar bait. Wendy sounded cautious. What do you think? I rubbed my temples. A year ago I would have hung up. But today I'm sterling, Jade with 3 best statuettes. Why pass on a slam dunk because of some guy who no longer matters? I'll take it, I said. Business is business. Knew my queen had balls. Wendy chirped, instantly recharged. I'd barely hung up when Lucian stepped out of the study. What's wrong? He caught the look on my face. I laid it out. He only gave a calm mim. If you don't want the part, we'll pass. I'll talk to Martin. No. I shook my head and hugged him. I'm doing it. I won't hit pause on my life for him. And I went on tiptoe and kissed his jaw. I trust you. I trust me. Lucian smiled at the determination in my eyes. All right. I've got your back. The press launch was set for 2 weeks later. I showed up in a razor-sharp white pantsuit, Lucian beside me. Sure enough, in the investor row sat Sebastian. Years had shaved the swagger off him. He looked leaner, older, eyes bruised and grave. He never took his gaze off me, focused, almost pleading. When the MC called him to the dais, he rose and walked up while every camera swiveled between him and me. The world wanted a show. On stage, Sebastian ignored the host, ignored Martin. His stare drilled straight through the crowd to me. I'm honored to invest in Martin's picture, he said, voice huskier than I remembered. For one reason only. Pause. Because its leading lady is Jade. A roar swept the room, pure Hollywood melodrama. I sat stone-faced. Lucian's grip on my hand tightened. I soothed his knuckles with a paw. Sebastian's eyes held a plea bordering on humiliation. I was wrong. I'm not asking forgiveness. I just want, his voice cracked, everyone to know, the only woman I've ever loved is Jade. Every film, every dream of hers, has my unconditional support. All I want, is to watch her soar. He bowed low toward me, then walked straight out, leaving the auditorium gaping. He'd turned a corporate event into a one-man apology tour. Disgusting. He'd dragged me into the spotlight again, his favorite cage. Reporters mobbed me afterward. Jade, any response to Caldwell's declaration? Will you two get back together? Sterling, your thoughts? Before I could speak, Lucian stepped in front. 1. My wife doesn't need anyone's patronage, her talent owns the summit. 2. The ring on her finger answers every question about her heart. 3. He glanced at the exit with cool contempt. A man who confuses love with possession isn't qualified to speak of either. We're solid. And we're staying that way. He tucked me against him and we left under security escort. Sebastian's stunt brewed fresh hell online. A hashtag cult sprang up shipping us. Come on, the bad boy came back bruised, so romantic. Sebastian's eyes look so haunted, I cried. Lucien's great, but second chance drama hits different. I laughed myself sick, collective amnesia in HD. Lucien didn't bother rebutting, he just doubled my protection. Shooting began. Sebastian stayed off set, technically. Daily inspections brought him to location, where he'd loiter 50 yards away, eyes drilling holes in me. I ghosted him and focused on the work. One morning we shot the big meltdown. My character confronts her cheating husband in his study. After 2 takes Martin yelled, "Jade, you're still holding back. You're not a queen here, you're a gutted wife. Bleed." I inhaled, reset. Sebastian planted himself behind the monitor like a foreman. The thorn pricked deep. Take 3. I stared at Adrian, trying to see the fictional betray. Instead, my brain served the text Sebastian had sent 3 years ago, "Bianca's back. Move out of the penthouse." Humiliation detonated. Tears burst free. Why? I shook, voice splintering, at Adrian, at Sebastian, at the past. What did I do wrong that you'd throw me away? I hurled books, sobbed, unraveling every locked box of pain. Cut. Perfect. That's the Oscar clip. Martin hooped. Applause swept the crew. Adrian handed me tissues. You okay? I couldn't answer. Sebastian stood frozen, face bloodless, eyes radiant with guilty hope, convinced my breakdown meant I still cared. The next day the games ramped up. Pricey afternoon tea for the entire crew, my private cup the Gold Leaf Deluxe. I told Wendy to gift it to the janitor. A top-spec caravan arrived for Sterling's comfort. I never set foot inside. Then the rain scene. While cameras rolled, he dodged assistants, draped his tailored jacket over my drenched shoulders, mirror image of the day he'd cloaked Bianca. I ripped it off, slammed it into the mud, stomped it twice. Sebastian, I snapped, shivering with rage. Keep your self-serving theatrics away from me. One more stunt and I shut this production down. Silence swallowed set. He gazed at the ruined coat, then at my disgust, light draining from his eyes. I just didn't want you cold. My husband handles my temperature. I spat. Lucien arrived that instant, wrapped me in his own coat, and leveled a glacial stare. Caldwell, Lesson 2, Don't Touch What's Mine. Chapter 14, The Kill Shot Tabloids Feasted. Hashtag Sebastian onset love fail. Hashtag Jade stomp suit. Netizens split, half called him pathetic, half branded me heartless. Sebastian milked the pity, booking a finance talk show. Host, biggest regret? Sebastian, losing the love of my life. I'd trade Caldwell for a second chance. Followers swooned. I rolled my eyes so hard they cramped. Lucien felt my tension and kissed my forehead. Clowns deserve a circus. Let's give him one. He wants the devoted martyr edit? Fine. We'll grant it, permanently. 3 days later a respected outlet dropped a bombshell. Crystal clear audio from a Caldwell family dinner 3 years ago. Sebastian's mother, a cheap starlet daring to marry into us? You're Bianca stand-in, a shadow. Know your place. Sebastian, ice cold, Mom, why waste breath on a stand-in? Then, to me, remember what you are. Do as you're told and you'll be paid. Get greedy and I'll erase you from this industry. The clip ran for 5 damning minutes. Internet imploded. Stand-in? He said that? I'm vomiting. All that true love crap, gaslighting 101. No wonder Jade loathes him. I'd bury him alive. Sebastian's deep-fried reputation was served extra crispy. Caldwell stock nosedived. He vanished into oblivion. I stared at my phone. How long have you had that recording? Since the day I decided to win you back, Lucien said softly. I've catalogued every wrong, ready to fight for you. I didn't release it till he came after you again. My wife gets justice and sunshine, never rain. Tears blurred the screen. He wasn't my knight, he was the god who dragged me from hell and keeps me in the light. Production suspended when Caldwell imploded. I apologized to Martin and recommended a gifted colleague to take over. He understood. I booked a real vacation. Lucien cleared his calendar and flew me to a private island. We walked white sand, swam in turquoise, toasted each other under blazing stars. For the first time Sebastian was a ghost, silent, harmless. Dream over. Morning came. What's on your mind? Lucien asked, chin on my shoulder as we watched sunrise paint the ocean gold. Wondering who I'd be if I'd never met you. You'd still be the woman who owns the best trophy shelf, he said instantly. I just spotted the comet first. He kissed my ring finger. Thanks for walking toward me, Jade. Thank you, I whispered, meeting his lips, for being my sun. The horizon glowed, warm and limitless. No more shadows. My sunlight is here to stay, and so Am I?